What's up, Planeswalkers? It's your boy K-Dog, back in Standard here with really fun Esper list built around Etrata. Etrata the Silencer is a 4-mana 3/5, can't be blocked, and whenever she deals damage to a player, combat damage, you exile target creature that player controls and put a hit counter on that card, and that player loses the game if they own 3 or more exiled cards with hit counters on them, and then you have to shuffle Etrata back into your library. So yeah. Etrata is a super fun build around because it's a little bit complicated, and I feel like there's some new cards in M21 that make this really interesting. And so this is kind of the list I've been working on. Started out as just kind of a Dimir, but then not having much luck in the Dimir, straight Dimir route, so I went with Esper here because that gives us things like Niambi, which work really well with Etrata because we can flash Niambi in with Etrata's trigger on the stack, so you Etrata hits for damage, then you target a creature, and then once you've targeted a creature, you can respond to that with like a Niambi or something like that. Flash her in. You can then return another creature you control to its owner's hand. If you do, you gain life equal to that creature's converted mana cost. And Etrata is a 4-drop, so you're going to gain 4 life. And then you can bounce. You can essentially bounce Etrata back to your hand and still get the hit counter at the same time. That's the thing you can do at instant speed in response to that trigger. So that's pretty sweet. So you can keep your Etrata around, recast it, or we also have a Teferi's Time Twist, which just has it come back down to the battlefield on our end step. So Niambi here, we're running 3 copies. Obviously isn't something you're going to be wanting casting on turn 2. It's probably something you're holding up a little bit later on, but you want to see it frequently. And also has a nice activator ability. We can pay 3 to discard a legendary card and draw 2 cards. And so I thought that was kind of interesting, so I decided to kind of take into more of a legendary route. So we're not, all in on legendaries, but there's a very heavy, obviously presence of legendaries. Etrata, of course. We're running all 4 copies because you don't want to see her all the time, because that really is your kind of your primary win condition. But I certainly have won games without the Etrata hit counter going up to 3. Because we have some nice value creatures here as well, but we don't really have any heavy hitters, but we're just kind of some nice value plays. And yeah, so it's been a really fun deck. So let's kind of start at the top here. So Fblthp, it's a 2-mana 1/1. When it enters, we draw a card. We don't have to worry about this part where we draw 2 cards because we're not going to be having it come in from our library in any way, shape, or form. And then when it comes to target of a spell, we shuffle it back into its owner's library. So even if they try to kill it, it just goes back in the library, and we could potentially just draw it again. And we're running 3 copies here as well. And obviously it is legendary, so if we wanted to discard it to Niambi and draw 2 instead of casting it we can do that as well. We've also got Teferi's Time Twist here. It's a 2-minute instant speed. We exile a permanent we control, so we can also hit like Planeswalkers and things like that. Any permanent. And return the card to the battlefield under our control at the beginning of the next end step. And if it's a creature, it comes with that additional +1/+1 counter on it. So that's kind of a nice little bonus, but we're not usually too worried about combat damage. I mean, Etrata can't be blocked, which is nice. But mostly we're just trying to get the hit counters, obviously. And so that's really the key. Not so much the combat damage, but certainly can be relevant, so that's a nice little bonus. We're doing some early interaction, though. You don't want to kill all your opponent's creatures, but you don't want them to, flood the board either. So we have 3 Eliminates, which also can hit Planeswalkers as well. Certainly plenty of 3-mana Planeswalkers you want to kill with Eliminate. A couple of Freebooters, just nice to enter the battlefield value play, since that's kind of a theme here as well. Obviously, Niambi does something when she enters the battlefield. The Freebooter, same thing here. 1/2 flyer, when it comes down, we look at our opponent's hand, we get to choose a non-creature non-land card and exile under the Freebooter. And we're not really like a lot of tempo decks will run this just to kind of take the out of their hand, like a removal spell or whatever, and then so you can kind of keep attacking and not have to worry about them having to shadow the sky or whatever thing like that. This lets us kind of look at our opponent's hand and then play around what is in our opponent's hand. Just the information while having a creature at the same time is really more important than the actual whatever we get from the Freebooter. So just 2 copies feels pretty reasonable to me. It is a flyer, and it does something when it enters the battlefield, so it feels like it kind of fits right in here as well. Moving on here to Barrin, Tolarian Archmage. It's a 3-mana 2/2, double blue. When it enters the battlefield, we turn 1 target creature or Planeswalker to its owner's hand, so we can choose one of our own or one of our opponents. And beginning of end step, if it was a permanent we controlled, we get to draw a card. So that's pretty sweet. So obviously, you don't want to find your Etrata frequently, especially if you don't have those combat tricks where you can kind of flicker it, and so you'll want to be able to draw into it again. So anything you can do to kind of draw cards and help you kind of dig for that Etrata is pretty helpful as well. So that's why we're kind of doing a lot of card draw and things like that here. Which is why we're running Cloudkin Seer here as a 3-of. It's of course a 2/1 flyer for 3 mana. When it enters, we draw a card. Just a nice little value creature here. A couple Grim Tutors to help us find our Etratas. You know, it's a 3 mana play here, and Etrata is 4, so they are on curve, which is awesome. We do lose 3 life, which is a little bit of a downside. But we have some life gain. Obviously, Niambi can gain this life, and we also have a couple other creatures we're about to get to that also have some life gain as well. So we're not too worried about losing 3 life here in this list. We have the Murderous Rider, which we're going to be losing 2 life as well, but then it's a 2/3 life linker as well, and just a powerful removal spell that obviously any deck that can afford to play a double black and colorless removal spell definitely deserves a slot. So running 3 copies here. Finally running 1 copy here of Teferi, the card that everybody pretty much hates. But just 1 copy here, nothing in the sideboard, just 1 in the main because it kind of fits our overall theme. It draws a card, it's a legendary, it's in Esper colors. And so we're just going to run 1 copy. Kunoros here, it's a 3 mana 3/3 Vigilance Menace lifelink. Creature cards in graveyard can't enter the battlefield, and players can't cast spells from graveyards. So it does shut down certain strategies with that. We obviously don't care about our graveyard, we're not doing anything to interact with our own. And just a 3 mana 3/3 with all these keyword abilities is pretty sweet as well. So just 1 copy, it's legendary, kind of fits our theme as well, and can definitely hose certain decks. We also have Mangara, the Diplomat. It's a 4 mana 2/4. It has lifelink, and whenever an opponent attacks with 2 or more creatures, either you or a planeswalker, we get to draw a card. Or whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn, we also get to draw a card. So it's lifelink and card draw all at once, and it's legendary, so it kind of fits everything we're trying to do here. Just seems like a really solid card, so I hope we get some nice value off of it. And to kind of go along with all of our legendaries, and especially Etrata, we have 1 copy here of Spark Double. Being able to copy anything on our side of the battlefield, even with legendary, doesn't matter, we still get to make a copy of it, and then it comes down with either a +1/+1 counter as a creature, or additional loyal county if we choose a planeswalker. So Spark Double, just really nice play here. A couple copies here of Rankle, 4 mana 3/3 legendary flying haste. Let's be a little more aggressive by having a haste creature in the air. And whenever it deals combat damage to a player, of course, we can choose to discard, draw, or each player sacrifice a creature. Obviously, we do have a lot of creatures, but not necessarily things we want to sacrifice. We could sacrifice the Freebooter if we didn't get anything with it, or we don't really care what is under it, and things like that. But mostly we're just here to kind of either discard or to draw. Those are the main functions of Rankle, and just a nice solid creature all around. Atris, of course, works really well because when it comes down, it's a 4 mana 3/2 menace, and we look at the top 3 cards of our library. Well, actually, our opponent does, and then they separate them into 2 piles. One's face up, one's face down, and then we get to choose. We can take the known 1 or 2 cards, or the unknown 1 or 2 cards, because that's typically how you should do it. Some people still have trouble kind of figuring out how this card works. Every once in a while I have seen somebody where they gave you all 3 cards because they couldn't figure out how to separate them into piles. I know when I first played against it, it was a little bit tricky, but typically you're just going to get 1 to 2 cards off of this. And curve top's out at 4, but we are a little bit mana hungry, so we don't mind getting lands if our opponent tries to trick us or anything like that. And we are going for the Etrata. The nice thing about running Etrata is she's like a total magnet for removal because they see her and they don't want their stuff getting exiled. They're scared that you're actually going to get those 3 hit counters, and so everyone wants to kill Etrata. Well, you're playing all those legendary creatures and nice value creatures ahead of her, so odds are your opponent's going to kill them before, or you're going to tax your opponent's removal, which is something I like about this kind of strategy. And then the nice thing about Atris is it helps you dig for Etrata as well, by digging 3 cards into your library to help you potentially find one. Finally here we have Solemn Simulacrum. Just 1 copy here. I was actually running the Teferi, the new Teferi, but just felt pretty mediocre and just wasn't quite good enough here. And like I said, we are kind of, even though our curve top's out at 4, we are actually a little bit mana hungry. We want to play our Niambi and then maybe cast an Etrata or even like another 3-drop or something like that on the same turn. And so we do need to get up to 5, 6 mana to do those kinds of things. And Solemn Simulacrum, especially being a 3-card deck, dig for that extra color, that extra land we need. It is a basic, but that's fine. And then when it dies, we can get to draw a card. So it comes down as a body. Just lots of value with this. Obviously, we can sacrifice it to Rankle and things like that. So just one copy to kind of help kind of flesh out the deck and kind of help us plug any holes that we might be in need of. So mana base here, just 24 lands. We do have lots of card draw, and our curve does top out at 4, so I think 24 lands feels right, even though we're a little bit on the hungry side. With all the card draw, we should be able to get those lands that we need. So just the one plane, since we're mostly in mostly blue-black. 4 Island, 4 Swamp, 3 Hallowed Fountain, 3 Godless Shrine, 2 Temple of Deceits, all for Watery Grave, and then 3 Fabled Passage. We have some pretty intense mana costs here with double blue, double black, and things like that. So just having the fixing here with the Fabled Passage to help us find whatever land we're looking for. Maybe we haven't found white for some reason, so we can tutor up the one planes we have, and things like that. So that's the main. Let's go into the side here. We need obviously some answers for control and mid-range matchups. Our deck is pretty slow, not very aggressive at all, so we need to factor in the late game. So a couple of negates, a couple of agonizing remorse. I also have to worry about aggressive matchups or like mono green, things like that. So Heartless Act gives us some more spot removal. Banishing Light if we need exile removal. Of course, Davriel for this control matchups. Extinction Event for any kind of go wide strategy. And then Ashiok and Liliana are nice kind of value plays for those mid-rangey kind of grindier matchups, whether at control or even creature-based. I found both these cards have just give you a ton of value. And final here, I feel like some additional life gain is relevant and a way to interact with the graveyard. I was looking at Ashiok 3, but just slide on Erebos Intervention just for that flexibility of being able to kill something and gain life, and we're also having an answer for graveyard decks. Okay, it's Spiffboya 576. Gotta go first. We'll take that. Also missing second black for the tutor, but we do have the Cloudkin Seer and Mangara on 4, and then go from there. Especially on the play, I don't mind this. Obviously lead with our tap land here. Resolve and Guildgate. Well, let's actually go, Passage, let's get another black source. Still probably go with the Cloudkin Seer, but we'll see what our opponent does. If they play a creature, then we'll probably be inclined to go for Etrata, but we'll see. And Passion Order. Life gain, that's awesome. That is so cool. And black source. Another Passage. Alright, let's tutor up an Etrata and we can start exiling whatever they play. Either Johnny's Pride Mates or whatever stuff. These life gain decks are... I'm so sick of them. I swear, Johnny's Pride Mate is a card I've seen more than any other since Arena, because it's been around since the beginning. Just go island, that's fine. We have a blocker potentially here with Etrata. We stops them from attacking with the Ordor. They might have some life gain plays to buff the Pride Mate, get in for some more, but whatever. Or they just have a kill spell, swing for 5. Pride Mate number 2. Wow. Yawn. I know people love life gain, but I just cannot stand it. Attacking in because they have something to do. You think I'm blocking the Pride Mate? Do you have a way to deal with 3 damage here? You must have had a plan. Do you have a plan here, opponent? You thought I was going to block the Pride Mate? Sure. Alright, what do we want here? Push another black source, I think. As much as I'd love to spark double this, I think we actually just need to eliminate plus Etrata. So we'll go ahead and go to combat. Go to the big one. There you go. There you go. So they don't have protection spells, so we'll eliminate that one, and we'll Cloudkin Seer. Don't even want them to tap, we'll just get rid of their board. Alright, observe our life total since we're at 11. We do have life gain here in the form of Mangara, but just a lot of damage to be taken in, especially if they were showing they're willing to attack there. Don't want to see our life total get any lower, especially with a Rider in hand. So up to 5 mana, so we have potentially 2 plays here. Okay, Indulgent Patrician, it's a pretty reasonable target. Just try to keep their board clear. Can't gain life if all of your life linkers are dead. Not sure what they have in hand, they haven't played anything. But we're about to find out. It's going to kill our Cloudkin Seer. Yeah, that's amazing. Don't even care. Unexpected things. Why? Alright, we found an Etrata. We'll swing one, see if they want to kill it. Alright, just run a Etrata out there. And hope they play a creature. If not, we get a free attack. Don't have to worry about exiling or shuffling to Etrata in if it doesn't exile anything. Like our opponent might just have some lands here. Fblthp. We don't have anything to exile, so maybe we just Fblthp, hope for land, then Mangara. So let's swing. We don't mind playing the long game here. Fblthp, hope for land. If not, we still have Murderous Rider. I don't think we need to hold up this that we have an Etrata in play. And they could have a board wipe, but whatever. That's fine. We'll drop it. If they have board wipe, we'll at least shuffle the Murderous Rider back into our or it goes to the bottom of our library. Don't need to overcommit to this board. It's like these Pridemate decks always run like Shadow Disguise, or at least a couple copies. Okay, and they probably just holding up lands, or maybe some more unexpected Fang type stuff. Alright. Want to make room for the extinction events. Obviously, Heartless Act doesn't do much against the bloodthirsty aerialists and Johnny's Pridemates. Actually, not too worried about what's in their hand, so we can drop the Freebooters. What else? We have the sweepers now, so I don't think it's super urgent to go for. I almost want to get the planeswalkers in, honestly. So if they have the nuts, they could just go off and aggro us, especially on the. Play here, but I think I'm fine with running a slower match here. Certainly could bring in the Heartless Axe to deal with like the Orators and Indulgent Patrician and things like that. but we also have the extinction events and some other things, so yeah, I'm fine. It's kind of awkward. I do love Etrata, and we have Eliminate, and the Temple can help us find some more lands, potentially. Niambi. I like Murderous Rider, but we need more lands here at this point. So definitely a little slow hand. Let our opponent off to a slow start as well, looks like. Well, Extinction Event is nice, but we do need lands. Fblthp, Cloudkin Seer, land. Well, Fblthp since we're still stuck on 2. Timeret, that's cute. I guess we eliminate that. Do we care about our graveyard? Not really. If we don't draw a land, then I guess we'll eliminate, but I think maybe we'll hold on and eliminate. Jeez. For something better, but we cannot seem to draw land. I swear, some of these games are just decided by the shuffler. It just says, you know what, we're just going to let the other player win this time, and we're just not going to give you lands, or we're going to give you nothing but lands. No, it can happen in paper, obviously, and it does, but just the way it happens in Arena, it just feels different. And Dawn of Hope is pretty good against this. We don't have good answers for enchantments. Well, there's a Fblthp, so we can draw a card at least. Hopefully it's a land. I mean, it's got to be a land at this point, right? We've drawn Fblthp, Etrata, and Extinction Event. There's a land. Okay. Worst case scenario, we time twist just to draw more lands. Our opponent's not really doing much. It's kind of curious. And then gain life so they can draw a card. Sure. It's nice thing about Etrata is you don't necessarily have to worry about life totals or anything like that. You can just go for the hit counters. We cannot draw a land to save our life. So yeah, we have to time twist, because we have to discard anyway. Actually, no, it becomes the target of any spell. We shuffle back in, so we don't even get to do that. Sweet. There's a land, jeez. It's just a Etrata, so if they do play a creature. But they haven't played anything other than Timeret, so I'm guessing they're just holding up removal here. Finishing Blow, that's some premier removal there, 5 mana. It's instant speed, which is good. Okay, no idea. Alright, against a Bartender D. It's kind of an awkward hand, but we have the Etrata and we have all of our lands, so we'll keep. Dafa. Keep 5 land. Guaranteed you're going to draw a land. Nice job, Shuffler. Well, that's a playable. Alright, Cloudkin Seer. What do you got? Murderous Rider. Well, our opponent in Abzan colors. 60-something cards. So they definitely have removal. Aerialist. That's cute. Don't even think we care. Just run the Etrata out there. If they have removal, we do have a backup. If not, we can Niambi, flash it back to our hand. Although it's not too amazing. We gained 4 life, though. So I don't really care about counters on their Aerialist. Obviously, Etrata does not have flying, even though she looks like she does. And then attack for 2, you got it. Rankle is actually pretty interesting as well. It's probably the better play. We want to get this Etrata down, but we'll be smart. We'll play the Rankle. We will play the Rankle. What do we do here? They have a million cards in hand. We'll choose Sacrifice and draw. Mangara. So next one we have Etrata plus Niambi. Okay, Mortify, number 2. So Mortify is still a solid removal piece. Not as good as it maybe was at one point, but Fabled Passage. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Still have white open, then we can Fabled Passage for another blue source. So if they do go for the kill, then we will definitely Niambi just to flash it back to our hand, since we don't have a backup now. So they gain 2 instead of 4. We'll keep our Etrata alive. Not an amazing play. That's kind of a weird card in the main deck. Our opponent does not have any. They have this Triome. Are they just Orzhov and they're running the Triome just for some fixing or something? I don't know. Alright, well, Freebooter, take a look at their hand, try to get some more removal. All the kill spells. We'll take the finale, I guess. Doesn't matter. They know about Etrata. I mean, they can kill everything, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They have kill spells for days. There's deck of removal and a couple creatures that benefit off life gain. That's pretty cheesy. Gateway Plaza. Okay, so they got the budget mana base over here. They have the Castle Lockdown and they have the Triome. I mean, you can kill these with your Mythos. That's fine. You don't need Abzan Cores to kill them. I'll hit them for 1. We just have to grind out all this removal out of their hand. Teferi. I guess that's as good as anything. An Elder Spell though, so we'll bounce the Fblthp, draw, and draw. So they finally have an excuse to use their Elder Spell. This Triome and this Plaza now means they can activate, not activate, but use Mythos of Nithroid as a way to kill anything. But obviously when they see Teferi, they're going to be incentivized to kill that, which means they can't Mythos here, and especially now they have a 3/3 down. And they hold up the Mythos. I'm not sure I understand that play. We'll plus. We'll kill you. We'll attack. Let's see. So we have 1 Etrata in the graveyard. Do we want them to just kill it already? They don't have any creatures, so yeah, that's fine. I mean, we've seen 2 creatures from them this whole matchup. Play Fblthp number 2, doesn't matter. Keep untapped, draw. Another land. Alright. Try to keep the land count to 24 so we didn't flit out too much, but here we are. Eventually we'll draw some spells, and eventually we'll get rid of all this removal from our opponent's hand. since our opponent's deck is 90% removal and 10% creatures, it's going to be hard to get there with Etrata. So if they want to kill it, that's fine. They're down to 13, so we're kind of chipping away their life total. Surprised I didn't go for the Teferi kill right away. Usually that's automatic. Most people see Teferi and they just want to kill it immediately just because of how much value it represents. Okay, killing the Freebooter, so I can get the finale back. Outer spell the Teferi, sure. Don't even care about Teferi. It's mostly here as a distraction and for some card draw. We already got the card draw out of it, so yeah. Finale just kills the Murderous Rider, so just hold it up as removal. So down to 9. And let's see. Yep, no. I think that coming in tap means they can't kill our Etrata yet. I see 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh wait. Okay, that is 4 or 5. Yeah, they have 7 mana. They can play this for X5. Kill our Etrata, kill our Fblthp. That's quite the strategy. Just kill everything your opponent does and then play just a couple creatures. Shuffle it back in. Alright, Fblthp, you served your purpose. Oh man. Let's play it down as a creature and hold up 1 as a kill spell. So these decks are just super frustrating, like all removal and just a couple creatures, like, come on, dude. Alright. Play with the Murderous Rider, depending on what we draw here. Eliminate, yep. The good thing is, Eliminate seems to hit all the creatures that we've seen. Underworld Dreams. Okay, dude. Sure. Sure. That's super amazing. Your deck makes no sense. A million kill spells, Underworld Dreams, and just a couple creatures that synergize with life gain. That's very clever. Very clever. I mean, even though you've been killing everything, I'm at 22 and you're at 1. So, yeah. Aerialist. So, pretty unfun deck from our opponent. Just kill everything. Man. I mean, they just have removal for everything. Money's killed everything they play, so I think we definitely want to leave those in. Probably want the Remorse and the Negates in, just to kind of have some timely interaction for all their hate. I don't know if Grim Tutors are super relevant here. So I think I don't mind taking those out for the Planeswalkers. Considering make a case for Davriel to try to pick away at their hand since it's just all removal. But we know we're in the Elder Spell. I mean, even the main, like, why would you run Elder Spell in the main deck? I don't know. A lot of things about what they're doing don't quite make sense to me, but if it makes sense and it's fun for them, that's kind of the important thing. We'll try like that. If we really need the hand hate, we can bring the Davriels here in game 3 if it comes to that. But I think a couple Agonized Remorse, a couple of Negates just to kind of take some timely spells. So another slow hand, but their deck's pretty slow too, so I don't mind it too much. Another 4-drop, that's amazing. So 2-drop that's not really playable on 2, and a bunch of 4-drops. Okay. You're super cool, dude. Good game, yep. Did I not say good game last game? Maybe I missed it before the game. Maybe the game ended before I could say it. I don't know. I just assume everybody's spamming. Let's just go for the Simulacrum. Not pressuring us too much here. I don't want to play this Etrata, but guaranteed they're going to kill whatever you play here, since their deck is like all removal and just a couple creatures. So we'll get the Simulacrum down, we'll find a white source, and kind of start to ramp up a little bit. We'll get to draw a card when they kill it. They're going to kill it with something. Even though it's not even doing anything against them, it's 2-2. Can't even block their flyer. But if for some reason they don't kill it, then we'll just Rankle, and hopefully that lands, especially if they tap out for something. Sure. So we have 6 mana open next turn. So we can Etrata and then hold up Niambi. Yep, they're going to kill our Simulacrum even though it's not even doing anything here. That's fine. Doing me a favor. But I guess if you have so much removal, it just doesn't matter, so might as well. So we'll play our Etrata here. This will draw another removal spell. We can always flicker it back to our hand with a Niambi. We're taking 2 from the Erebos, but then we'll gain 4 from bouncing Etrata back to our hand as a 4-drop. Once again, they consume. Yeah, we want to keep our Etrata alive, so we'll go ahead and do that. They can gain 2. Aerialist grows, so we can bounce it with Teferi. 1, 2, 3. We're still stuck on 6. If we have 7 lands here, we can do something. Ooh, Ashiok is interesting. So we can do this and Cloudkin Seer. We can just do the Etrata Niambi thing again. I mean, we're at 16, and this Erebos is growing a little bit, so I think I'm fine with just bouncing it. Fblthp. Alright, we'll play the Cloudkin Seer to be more mana efficient. There's a land. Perfect. Alright, next turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have some options next turn. Okay, they play for the Erebos again. They probably have a Mythos here, I'm guessing. Or Mortify. Since they have a lot of 30 mana removal spells. We'll uptick Teferi. Maybe we'll just Ashiok and bounce their Aerialist. I think I could have Eldritch, which wipe out both of these, but that's fine. I'm sure they left it in since they did see Teferi at least. I don't know if they were thinking it wasn't worth it. Maybe they sideboarded it out. I probably would have if that was the only thing that I saw. So we can swing 2 here, play Fblthp. We'll get the Elder Spell out of the hand, so if we do draw Liliana at least, that'll be protected. Which is probably the creature we're more interested, or the Planeswalker we're more interested in. Could just hold up Niambi, but I'm not too worried about the Cloudkin Seer. We'll just get the card draw now. Okay, Negate's not bad. Especially if they have to keep playing this Aerialist. It's going to take up some of their mana, so they can only have potentially 1 removal spell. No, they have the Elder Spell. Of course they do. But they're not even running Planeswalkers, so sure. And Underworld Dream. That's super cute. And we'll just Etrata and hold open Niambi and negate. Assuming they play the Aerialists. Everything was nice. I thought it was pretty nice too. Thank you, opponent. Well, it's actually Rankle here. Oh boy, what do we want to do here? Obviously not sacrificing a creature. If we draw a card, we take 2. There are 2 cards. I don't think I really want to do anything. Kind of want to discard. Well, I don't really want to discard anything that we have though. I guess Mangara. This Mangara is the discard here. Still probably hold up in Niambi. Could also make a case for Spark Double or Cloudkin Seer, but I think I still want to hold up Niambi. If it's just like a sweeper, maybe we just bounce the Rankle. I think we still do this. Let's see, 3. Yeah, we're still representing lethal next turn. And getting a removal spell. And gaining some life. So I feel like they're pretty much dead at this point. Okay, we can't attack with Fblthp, but we can swing. Or no, we can't attack with her either. We can swing for 5 and exile their vampire. But we can also flat or haste in Rankle as well. Now we're hitting for 7. And then we exile their vampire. And draw a card, lose a life. Okay. So kind of a disjointed deck from our opponent, but obviously some pretty powerful stuff if it comes together. The Athreos obviously can grow to be pretty powerful threat. Underworld Dreams with Peer into the Abyss. That's pretty cute. But yeah, pretty fun deck from our own side. We didn't quite get any Etrata wins because it's just very hard to pull off. You got a card. Zagoth Mamba. Cool. Yeah, just hard to get the Etrata wins because you have to. You're not always going to have those flicker spells, so you have to actually draw into it that second or third time to get those hit counters. After, your opponent has to be playing the right amount of creatures so they don't kill you, but enough so you actually get the Etrata hit triggers. So it's a little bit tricky, but we have some nice card draw and some nice value, so you can kind of distract your opponent to kind of kill other things and maybe Etrata lives. Obviously, Niambi put in some work there. That was pretty sweet to see her do some things. I do like the sideboard with some of the Planeswalker package. Seems like it's Ashiok and Liliana have done great for me the times I've brought them in. And it's nice having these some of these discard and counterspell effects against those kind of other mid-range and controls type of lists as well. Yeah, being able to cast a Freebooter and just looking at their hand, and then you can kind of figure out if you want to play Etrata, if you want to save Etrata, let them kill something else. Instead, kind of bait them into killing like the Rankle or Atris, and just playing a bunch of legendary spells. They're just some obviously a lot of inherent value and just fun playing like card draw with Cloudkin Seer and Fabled Passage, things like that. And then the Grim Tutor kind of looks for whatever you need, since we are obviously mostly trying to get the Etrata value, but we can also just kind of tutor up one of our legendary toolbox creatures as well. Rankle was obviously really good, and even though we don't have too much to sacrifice, still put in some work there for us as well. Atris has been pretty clutch for me when I've been playtesting this. Barrin didn't really show up too much, but that's a pretty fun card as well. Being able to hit your opponent's things is pretty nice because we are pretty slow deck. So if we can just slow our opponent down as well, that works out for us. And yeah, overall fun list. Obviously a little bit of room to kind of tune it to maybe how you like it. Like I said, I was running Teferi, but it didn't really work out, so I brought in the Simulacrum. Maybe you have better luck with Teferi. You want to try that plan. That's certainly reasonable. But I do like just being able to sacrifice this to Rankle. There's that little bit of upside, and like I said, we are pretty greedy for lands. Even though we had 4 lands, it just wasn't enough. You needed those 6, 7 lands to really be able to do multiple things. And especially with all the card draw, you're going to have cards in your hand, so that's always fun. You're always have options, even in the late game. So yeah, super fun list. We get to play around Etrata, something different. And yeah, definitely going to be sad to see Etrata rotate here in a couple months. Obviously, we still have Historic, but I don't know how good she'll be in Historic. I haven't really looked at her too much in that environment. Obviously, much better tools to kind of deal with her there. So that's a bit of a downside. So Standard is probably the best time to play her is now. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, make sure you jank with a purpose.